Hey video friend, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz Clever from closetplayimage. And today, well, beside the fact that I'm basically dressed in jammies because if I'm looking a little peaked, cut me some slack please. Today I had to go to the doctor this morning and get a big shot of cortisone in my backside, or cortisone? Whatever, steroid shot in my backside because I have some sort of rash all over from contact dermatitis from something I snuggled up with in our yard when we were doing some gardening. And so yeah, anything touching is not a good thing. So if you are spotting literally spots on me, like red spots and bumps, it's not personal. it just is. And I didn't want to go without giving you another video this week, which would have happened if I just called it a day and said, no, can't show up on screen like this. So anyway, yeah, so welcome to my closet. Today I want to talk a little bit about color and choosing kind of color combinations in your wardrobe, and like, especially if you're going seasonal and you want to just sort of get more of a different vibe for a season, how you combine your colors in that particular season can make all the difference in the world, right? And it can also change the feeling and the mood of an outfit as well, the way you combine colors. So this season, here, just gonna change our lighting now with the window, but there we go. So this season in my wardrobe, there are 5 basic colors, and those are white, blue/denim, brown, green, and pink. And I could say that 3 of those are neutrals, the denim, the white, and the brown. And then my accent colors are pink and green. Although some of my greens are more neutral because they're more of a deep kind of colored neutral. And some of my blues might be more of a color, right? But what's one way to get inspired on combining colors in your wardrobe? Well, let me grab my iPad. Here we go. So the first way, and we talked a little bit about this. This was my style inspiration for spring this year, right? And you can see these colors that I just discussed, the pinks, the browns, the blues, the whites, and the greens are all in here, right? And then also kind of a deep, I don't know what to call this color, red. It's like slightly winey red. It's slightly winey. It's not, you know, it's like a deep pink / bordering on wine. And so I have a bunch of those colors in my wardrobe. Now, just as an FYI, when I organize my wardrobe and when I organize my clients' wardrobes in general, not all the time, the way I do it is by category and then by color in the category. So you can see that I've got things that are whites here, although I could put these over with the blues as well, right? Because they're a blue and white stripe, and patterns can be tricky. This one is predominantly white in the background, so I just put it with the whites, and then my solids. Then I've got my pinks, and I kind of go from light to dark, my greens, my blues, my darker blues, my browns are here, and then I have this gray sweater that should actually be on the other side. So it's out of place, but you know what? It's out of place and it doesn't really need to be here anymore. So while I'm with you, I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity to just weed out, because it's time to take to the cleaners, my wool sweaters, because it's been in the upper 80s, top half of the 80s for the past few days now, and it does not look like we're gonna have another cold streak, and if we do, I will manage with something cottony. So let me pull the wool sweaters out right now, because they can all just go to the cleaners and be put away in the storage box for the next season. There we go. Those ones definitely come out. I will keep this little cardigan because it's good for throwing over things, even though it's cashmere cardi. And I think I'll keep this light pink just in case we have a chilly evening and I want to throw on a sweater. Okay. So there we go. So and you can kind of see, so it went from white to pink to green to blue to gray, and then that pattern repeats itself again. So I have skirts and then pants, and I include my jeans in my pants, and then dresses, right? And so like if you look at the dresses, it's a little hard to see. This has a lot of pinks, this would too, except that it's inside out. This is that winey red. So I've kept this in my wardrobe, even though people think of this more as a fall and winter color. I'm holding it because it fits with that color vibe that I was talking to you about and playing with. And so how do I make that work more for spring and summer? It's all about how you combine those colors, right? I mean, if I put it with black or black boots and navy, then it, you know, it would look much heavier and darker. But I'm going to be able to play with this a little bit. Denim dress, and then I've got some green jackets, my denim jackets, right? So I've gone again in order, green to blue, and I don't have any black jackets, so dark gray jackets. Anyway, so that's how I organize. But when we're looking for inspiration, this is not always going to help. It's not always going to be there. So beside looking at your visual inspo, like I showed you before, one of my favorite places to go for inspiration is to look at stores, in the stores, actually the physical layout of the store, and sometimes in catalogs, because they also do this in their catalogs and on their websites. So I prefer IRL because I can really get more of a feeling for how the color play works together. But I will also use online resources for it as well, or, you know, paper catalogs. But what I want to talk about is color vignettes. Color vignettes. So I told you that I have 5 colors in my wardrobe, 3 neutrals and 2 colors. So pink, green, kind of denim-y blue, brown, and white / cream, right? But I can combine those in a variety of ways. And usually I will have, so I could combine, like if you imagine a boutique, and I'm going to show you a boutique here in a minute, but if you imagine a boutique, when you go shopping, they merchandise in colorways, right? So they will put groupings of different colors that play for that season together. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, because sometimes we have the colors in our closet, but we haven't thought about combining in that way. So for example, with my 5 colors, I could combine blue, brown, and white. I could combine brown, pink, and white. I could create a vignette of green, pink, and white, blue, green, and white, blue, pink, and white, brown, green, and white. Like all of these are different options. And actually, there is brown, green, white with pink. I did a whole blog post about a house inspiring like a mini capsule, and I'll link that in the description below. But so for example, if I chose one of my vignettes to be brown, blue, and white, because you almost always will see white or cream built into these colorways or these color vignettes in the store, right? So if I chose brown, blue, and white, then my other one would then be pink, green, and white, right? And it's a good thing I have a bunch of white, because then I can distribute it amongst my things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create, I'm going to take a second, I'm going to turn off the camera, and I'm going to create a colorway, boutique colorway or vignette using those different ones. And then I'll replay it with the other colorway. So this next one, so when we come back, boom, boom, we'll have brown, blue, and white grouped together, and we'll have pink, green, and white grouped together. So give me just a second and I will get that ready for you, and we'll talk about the feeling of these 2 different colorways, and then what have you got in your closet that might be able to not recreate these looks, because you don't have my pieces, but that might be able to play in that same colorway if those colors are good for you. And if they're not, then you play with the warm variations of them, right? So maybe it might be brown, turquoise, and white, right? Rather than denim blue, maybe you go for more of a turquoise, or khaki turquoise and white, khaki turquoise and ivory, right? So these are all gonna be cool-ish, because I have some warms in my wardrobe that don't really belong there, but don't tell anybody. So give me just a second and I'll be right back. So I'm back. So you can see now I have kind of a brown, blue, and white vignette created here. Now, does it look fun? Because I do have kind of 2 very neutral colors here, but I've managed to fun it up a little bit with some pattern. So I've got my top here that has my tigers on it. And why did I put this in not with the pinks? Well, I could put it in with the pinks if I wanted to later, but right now, since there's white and a lot of blue, and then it's got that camel / gold in the background, that's more on the brown scale, right? I've got some blue and white stripes, white blouse, another blue and white stripe, blues and browns. So I've got some patterned pieces to add interest, and that's what you'll see in your boutique. There'll be solids and there'll be patterns kind of combined, and even though the patterns don't necessarily go together, they go with the other solid pieces. So sometimes taking a little play and creating these little colorway vignettes in your closet, like with two colors and two neutrals and a color, or whatever reflects your personal coloring, can be a good way to get a little bit more inspiration, right? So I've got my toile top, got my animal print. Now this has got all kinds of pink in it, right? But it is kind of predominantly from a distance blue. So I'm just gonna add it to my blue boutique, right? I've got some white jeans, got some blue jeans, got my brown cords. They're really fine wales, so I am fine with wearing them in the spring. Denim dress, little denim wrap dress. Jacket I picked up on blues and browns, super fun, and even a little bit of red and a little bit of gold in there. Picked that up on eBay, super fun. Little bell sleeve, really lightweight, not lined, madras, so that'll be cute for when I want a jacket to wear with some solids. So I will get there, my denim jacket, and then I pulled from my work wear, which really doesn't see anywhere, this little brown jacket, which I think featured heavily in that post that I said I was linking below about pink and green and brown. So yeah, so let's see what we can do. And then I also have this pair of shorts hanging here. Not sure whether I'm keeping them or not. I can't actually wear shorts right now or jeans and so that's why I'm not trying these things on for you, because that would be excruciating. So we're not going there, because yes, all over my tummy and my back around my waistband. So yeah, so who knows? So look, da-dum-dum, right? I can do the brown. I could go for a very brown look here, and then I could add blue accessories. I could, don't know how well that's gonna go. So browns and blues, right? Khaki shorts and the denim. Not very exciting. Not at all. I mean, certainly not exciting. I do kind of like that short suit look though, with the khaki shorts and the brown, and then I would add some blue. Oh, and you know what? So what are we gonna do for our accessories? So I'm gonna make sure my accessories, because in the store, they always have the accessories there too, don't they? So I've got my white attitude bag. I've got my blue bag, and let me go run and grab across the room. Got my little brown bag, right? And my straw bag. So I can use all of these tools in my wardrobe to change things up. So I could do the same with the shorts. Let's do this. Bump. Shorts and the little jacket if I wanted a little kind of short suit look. Is 62 too old to wear that? Possibly. Do I care? Not even remotely. Not even remotely. Don't give a rat's a. Okay, just had to get that out of my system, just in case you were worried. If you've been here for a while, you probably know that I don't worry too much about that. But in my video about spring summer, I talked about this toile blouse and kind of how some ways that I thought I might want to play with it, right? Now the one way that I did, and I'll link that video below as well, but this will feature in another one of these little vignettes, right? In a brown combined with something else. So right now, how would I wear it? Well, not very exciting, but with the browns. Love it with the white jeans. Yes, it's a little bit more ivory, but that's okay. But I want to add color to this then, right? So it's a little challenging because I don't have a lot of color in this wardrobe, but yeah, I'm happy with this vignette. And this, because it is technically like 3 neutrals, brown, denim, and white, works really, really well for people with 3N coloring, right? I would really have to play up on the blues here. And so when I do that, I often will wear like double denim and then pop it with the white or the brown, right? To get a little extra color, even though it's not really a color. It's kind of hard to explain. So let's see. Oh, blue. Put brown in there, browns. Alrighty, so this skirt with my denim top, for sure. But if I want to go for something a little more fun, how about with my inside out, because it's hanging inside out because it was airing, my little, oh yeah, loving that, Yep, I think that's very cute. I love a good pattern mix, especially a stripe and a floral. It's one of those dead easy combos. We'll do that again with that. Yep, oh, I like it even more with the tee. Just a little bit more relaxed, super cute. And then would I grab my brown bag? No, but my white attitude bag or my blue little crossbody, for sure. Or my straw tote and a pair of espadrilles. Yep, in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat. So here's that first vignette, blues and browns. Oh, yeah, I might actually do that too. I was thinking I wasn't liking that blue with it, but I think I do. I think I do that as well. I'm feeling a little pattern mixy. And so just because the pieces aren't interesting, it's not necessarily about the pieces themselves, it's about how you combine them. So yeah, oh, kind of excited. Oh, skirts don't go there though. Skirts go here. Skirts and shorts I pair together because air circulation. Okay, so there you go. Stay tuned for the next vignette. So I'm back, and here's another colorway. So here's that pink, green, and white colorway. Now, pink, green, and white could read kind of preppy, if depending on how you combine those colors, right? If you can read very kind of old school 1980s prepster, but you can do whatever you want with it. If you go for different shades of green and different shades of pink, it's not going to have that same prepster, like waspy prepster vibe. So anyway, but yeah, so here I've got some white and I still have my stripes in here. I have a very pink and white, and there's some green in here. There's even some blue in here, but am I going to write it out just because it has a little bit of blue in it? Nope. My pink, that pink sweater I mentioned, a green sweater, my white jeans, my pink, pair of pink, lightweight pink pants. Oh, these featured in that video with that toile top, but we'll get there when we get to another combination, right? Some green and white striped pants, some deep olivey green pants, actually more of a moss rather than olive. Now this dress, again, an example, it has lots of blue in it, but it does have a lot of pink and green. So I'm putting it in the pink and green section. You can see why this is in that pinks and winey red section. How that it's right side out, oops. Mentioned this before as well. So, and yeah, let's actually talk about this. So this, super lightweight, and what is that on there? Fuzz, just ignore the fuzz. So if I wanted to combine this and play with this, right, and give it more of that springy feeling, oh, and for my bags, I've got my pink bag, I've got my attitude bag, and then I've got my big woven bag over here. So yeah, maybe I'm just going to pair it, this dress, with a little pair of nude flats, and that could be nude flat sandals, and my lighter bag, right? That's going to take away some of the heavy feeling that I would get if I paired this, for example, with navy. Wine and navy, very classic color combination, nothing wrong with it. And it is literally a classic combination, classic personality style combination as well. So yeah, I'm not likely to be wearing this with navy. But so a pair of nude shoes. Oh, you know what? I'd love to wear it with my little, looking down, my little sneakers, little off-white sneakers. So the white versus off-white debate, just, I'm about pairing all the whites, right? Do what works for you. If that makes you uncomfortable because the whites don't match, then don't do it. If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, then pair all the whites. You get an interesting mix of text, especially when you're using different textures. You're always going to end up with different color when you have different textures. So yeah, what else might I pair this with? Got a little, like I said, a little nude shoe, maybe some colorful jewelry. I might like to add some pink jewelry to this, just to lighten it up a little bit. Okay. I have my, this green jacket. It's probably time for that to go to the cleaners as well. Although I may hang on to it because there's still probably going to be a couple of cool nights. And then I have this, not very flattering for my coloring, but I love this jacket. Found it on eBay a couple years ago. It's kind of that oversized boyfriend blazer look. And how would I want to wear this? Well, because it's not great for my color, I'm going to wear it with other things for sure that work really well with my coloring. So let's pair. I'm just going to grab a tee, white tee. I don't wear a lot of tees except now that I have this thing going on. Yeah, although then I end up with something on my waist, which makes me unhappy. Oh, and this dress, sorry, this green and white dress. Well, another eBay find. So yeah, so when I can, once again, I will wear, let me just grab my jacket. Oh, that just hurt my leg. That bumped against my leg. Not comfortable. So I love a column of color, particularly when I'm feeling a little extra fluffy, which I'm sure after the way this storage shot is making me feel about eating right now, I may be a little extra fluffy in the next day or two. So yeah, column of color, I'm going to do white and I may throw this jacket over it. Now what am I going to do to pop that? Well, let's grab that pink bag for fun, just because. And there we go. So I've got a super relaxed column of color. I've got a little blazer to throw on over it. I've got my pink. Would I wear pink shoes? Yeah, if I want to go for kind of that very feminine matchy vibe, sure. Would I go for maybe a pair of nude shoes? I could do that too, right? Maybe some big pink beads with this would be really fun. I'm definitely going to play with that pink with the green, with this sort of olivey green. Okay, so there we go. There's one. Sorry, noisy. My jewels are noisy on the door. Alrighty, so let me put down my pink bag. So column of color with a jacket over it. Sure, column of color again with a cardigan over it. Could do that as well. And that's a very different vibe because that's a very different green, right? This is a minty green. Would I wear these two greens together? Oh my gosh, no. Well, who knows? I might just decide for the heck of it. But that same column of color with the minty green over it, yes. Then would I want the pink? Maybe not. Maybe then I would just play with some nudes there. Oh, my attitude bag. Because like a little cardigan over, round neck cardigan over the jeans and the t-shirt is gonna feel very, very classic, very, yeah. And so I'm gonna wanna add a little edge. So I'm gonna grab my attitude bag from the floor here. And I'm gonna throw my little attitude bag over my shoulder with the studs on it. Yeah, okay. And then maybe I might even pop this with just some very dark accessories. And the question is, what are they gonna be? I'm not sure yet. Not sure yet at all. Might be this string of beads. So yeah, there we go. There's another combo. I've got my pinks. Oh, excuse me. Again, making way too much noise. Sorry about that. Roundabout. So maybe I'll do a column of color of pink. Does this pink exactly match this pink? No, this one's a little more lavendery, but you know what? I like the way that looks. What would I wear that with? Probably my attitude bag again. I might grab my big tote here. That would be cute as well. A little pair of espadrilles. Yeah, I can see working that. Let's keep going. Pink. So if I needed something more work-like, I've got my silk blouse and a pair of dress pants. Is that exact pink in there? No, but there's all kinds of shades of pink, so I don't think anybody's gonna get that up close in my face to notice. And like I said, I'm okay with that. Is it bright? For sure. Is it gonna stand out? For sure. And so it depends on your standing out comfort, right? Your standout comfort level. How comfortable are you standing out? Let's see. If I was feeling very over the top, I could go for stripes and stripes. Probably not a super likely combination, but either of the pink pants with white tops or white sweaters, right? Easy peasy. I would love if we had a chilly day. Ooh, there we go. If we have another one of those days where the temperatures drop. This super pale pink with the green. Yeah, with some nude accessories. Now, interestingly enough, when it comes to shoes, I will always keep my nude sandals and my nude flats in my wardrobe. Even though they're not, quote, part of the colorway, they're not part of the brown colorway, technically, I will keep them in there because they're my nude feet, right? I'm not actually wearing shoes. Alrighty. And then I have dresses are dresses are one of my favorite ways to make a column of color because it gives you a column and if you column of color, I'll link a post about it below. From your shoulders straight down to wherever the hem ends, right? So shoulders to knees, shoulders to maxi, shoulders to midi length, whatever length you've got going on there, that's going to give you a full column. So yeah, I've got my little boutique. Let me put my pieces back in here now. So yeah, I've got a little bit of that green, white, and pink boutique. And if you'll notice, there's only one pair of jeans in here, 2 casual pants, 3 casual pants, and a dress pant. So it shows that, I only have 1 pair of jeans in this colorway, for example. I had a ton of pairs of jeans in the other colorway. Not that most of them are fitting right now, but that's okay too. Yep. So let's replace these pieces. So do you, as I asked before, do you have pieces in these 3 colors, in the pink, the white, and the green? Or in the first colorway of blue, brown, and white / cream, right? Do you have those groups? Can you create your own vignettes in your closet? Let me know if this is helping you. This video is getting really long, so I'm gonna stop here and I will video the other vignette groupings. Hold on, let me put this down because I lost my little paper with the other groupings. I will video the brown, pink, white, and blue, green, white vignettes for next time, or the time after that, however it plays out as we're going along. Yeah, part of it'll just depend on how this rash is doing and whether I'll be able to put on clothes for you or not. I know you'd prefer if I tried on the outfits. Hashtag sorry, not sorry, just love you, not going to hurt myself for you. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you found this helpful. I would suggest go into your closet, have a little closet play, right? Because, well, closet play, we're all about bright ideas for your style and your wardrobe. So go have a little closet play. Create a couple of vignettes. Grab some bags, shoes that go with your, like a 3-color vignette, right? And have a play. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. Let me know what color combo vignettes do you have in your closet that you'd like to work with and that you feel like work for your coloring. Stay safe and sound, sane and stylish. I will see you again next week. Thank you for spending some of your time with me, because your time is precious and any of it you spend with me is a gift.